Yo, what's up? Ricky Sanders here. If you live for fast cars, greasy hands, and solving problems under the hood, welcome to your new favourite spot. I'm all about real fixes, no BS, and showing you how to keep your ride running like a champ. So go ahead, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's make some noise in the garage. Enough talk. Let's get ready.
The father of the YaMZ engine family is considered to be a legendary Soviet engineer, designer, and inventor, Georgy Chernyshev. At that time, it was a unique motor, which was produced for half a century and proved to be one of the best power units in the world. Technical characteristics of the YaMZ-238 engine for the entire period of production and modernization have not changed. Of course, the engine was improved by the latest developments and innovations, but there were very few constructive changes. Let's consider the main characteristics of the power unit. Name characteristic. Type diesel, turbocharged diesel engine, volume 15 liters, 14,866 centimeters cc, configuration, parameter V-shaped, number of cylinders, number of valves, Econorama -0 to -4 8-cylinder diameter 16 130 mm, compression ratio 17, 5 cooling liquid cooling valve train, OHV. Block and head material, cast iron, service life 800,000 to 1 million kilometers, fuel diesel fuel cylinder, order 154263778, applicability. MAZ, KRAZ, Ural, T-Series tanks, K tractors, LAZ buses, Chetra all-terrain vehicles, etc. It is worth noting that all 238 series engines have a mechanical high-pressure fuel pump. Each cylinder has its own pump section, so that combustion takes place evenly. The fuel pump is located between the rows of cylinders, on the engine camber. Engine modifications. The YaMZ-238 internal combustion engine has received quite a lot of modifications and applicability on the automobile range. So, according to the technical documentation of the manufacturer's factory, consider what model range and modifications the engine. 8-inch has 235 horsepower, 173 kilowatts, at 1,700 rpm, 1108 Nm, 113 kgfm, at 1,300 rpm, YaMZ-238 ND3. 235 horsepower, 173 kilowatts, at 1,700 rpm, 1108 Nm, 113 kgfm, at 1,300 rpm, YaMZ-238 ND6. 240 horsepower, 177 kilowatts, at 2,100 rpm, 882 N*M, 90 kgfm, at 1,500 rpm, YaMZ-238, basic. 250 horsepower, 184 kilowatts, at 1,900 rpm, 1108 Nm, 113 kgfm, at 1,300 rpm, YaMZ-238 ND4. 250 horsepower, 184 kilowatts, at 1,900 rpm, 1108 Nm, 113 kgfm, at 1,300 rpm, YaMZ-238 ND7. 280 horsepower, 206 kilowatts, at 2,100 rpm, 1029 Nm, 105 kgfm, at 1,500 rpm, YaMZ-238 PM. 290 horsepower, 184 kilowatts, at 2,000 rpm, 1128 Nm, 115 kgfm, at 1,400 rpm, YaMZ-238 DK. 300 horsepower, 220 kilowatts, at 1,900 rpm, 1280 Nm, 131 kgfm, at 1,300 rpm, YaMZ-238 ND5. 300 horsepower, 220 kilowatts, at 1,900 rpm, 1280 Nm, 131 kgfm, at 1,300 rpm, YaMZ-238 ND8. 320 horsepower, 235 kilowatts at 2100 rpm, 1117 Nm, 114 kgfm, at 1500 rpm, YaMZ-238 FM. 330 horsepower, 243 kilowatts at 2000 rpm, 1225 Nm, 125 kgfm, at 1400 rpm, YaMZ-238DK. 330 horsepower, 243 kilowatts at 2100 rpm, 1225 Nm, 125 kgfm, at 1300 rpm, YaMZ-238D. 330 horsepower, 243 kilowatts at 2100 rpm, 1225 Nm, 125 kgfm, at 1300 rpm, YaMZ-238DE. 330 horsepower, 243 kilowatts at 2100 rpm, 1274 Nm, 130 kgfm, at 1200 rpm, YaMZ-238DE2. 330 horsepower, 243 kilowatts at 1900 rpm, 1274 Nm, 130 kgfm, at 1200 rpm, YaMZ-6582. 360 horsepower, 265 kilowatts at 1900 rpm, 1570 Nm, 160 kgfm, at 1200 rpm, YaMZ-7512. 400 horsepower, 294 kilowatts at 1900 rpm, 1715 Nm, 175 kgfm, at 1200 rpm, YaMZ-7511. 400 horsepower, 294 kilowatts at 1900 rpm, 1764 Nm, 180 kgfm, at 1200 rpm, YaMZ-6581. 420 horsepower, 309 kilowatts at 1900 rpm, 1764 Nm, 180 kgfm, at 1200 rpm, YaMZ-7513. Power unit maintenance. The YaMZ-238 engine has no significant differences from the 236 model. The engine is serviced every 20 to 25,000 kilometers. Scheduled maintenance of the internal combustion engine is a set of operations aimed at preserving the primary condition of units and parts of the unit. According to the YaMZ engine repair and operation manual made by the manufacturer, let's consider what operations are included in the maintenance of the 8 oil change, adjustment of the valve mechanism, cleaning the injectors, adjustments related to the high-pressure fuel pump, other operations aimed at maintenance of the power unit. To service a high-pressure fuel pump is a separate set of operations, which can be done qualitatively only by masters of repair of fuel equipment of diesel engines. Engine repair. Basic description. Repair of the YaMZ-238 engine is a whole set of operations to restore the performance of the motor, which is not recommended to do with your own hands. So, it is worth turning to professionals who will be able to correctly diagnose faults and wear, as well as what internal element needs to be replaced. Let's consider the main set of operations, which is carried out for the YaMZ-238 motor to carry out a major overhaul of the motor. Superficial diagnostics of malfunctions is carried out by ear. The motorist determines the presence of extraneous noises, as well as the preliminary location. Dismantling the motor from the car, as well as conducting a complete disassembly of the power unit. Measurements of the cylinders and crankshaft. Determining the repair number, as well as ordering spare parts. As practice shows, in most cases, in order not to bore the cylinders of the engine, the block is lined. This option allows, and in the case of subsequent repairs, to bore not the block, but the liners, which when worn can be removed and inserted new. Repair of the cylinder head. Assembly of the power unit. A separate parameter is the restoration of the TNVD, As practice shows, the master repairs only the plunger pair, which wears out most often. As for inline repair operations, every owner of a car with a YaMZ engine has sufficient skills and knowledge to restore his engine on his own. The main thing is that the hand grows from the right place. The most frequent problems include malfunction of the starter and generator, water pump failure, replacement of drive belts, adjustment of the valve train, oil replacement, replacement of engine filters. Repair instructions for each node are available on the internet, or you can use the factory books, which are available in the public domain. Conclusion: the YaMZ-238 engine is considered a legend of the domestic automobile industry. More than half a century of production, the power unit has shown itself to be reliable and easily repairable. For these qualities, it is loved by motorists. It should be noted that YaMZs, both 238 and 236, were often exported in large batches. For example, China orders engines of this series for its heavy trucks, because only Belaz and Caterpillar can compete with YaMZ, but they are much more expensive than the domestic analog. Other operations aimed at maintenance of the power unit. Adjustments related to the high-pressure fuel pump. In conclusion, the YaMZ-238 engine stands out as a robust and versatile power unit, characterized by its impressive technical specifications and reliable performance. With a rich history of development, this engine has undergone significant refinements and repairs, ensuring its continued relevance in various applications. Its adaptability makes it a preferred choice in numerous industries, from agriculture to transportation. Understanding the intricacies of the YaMZ-238 not only highlights its engineering excellence but also underscores its importance in the landscape of modern machinery. Thank you for watching, and we hope you gained valuable insights into this remarkable engine.